since we had a few technical difficulties with Reaper crashing in class, I'm going to do the demonstration again that I would have liked to have given to you today regarding working with the tempo of, of different tracks. So the first thing you should do is bring in a media file, particularly one with a strong beat, like one I have here. So drum track is perfect. And get it set up in a track. And when you first start playing it back, one way to get an approximate sense for the tempo is to play the sound, and then while you're playing it, just tap along. Okay, so I know that the tempo that I am looking for is going to be somewhere around 96. It may be closer to 100, it may be something slightly different, but that just gives you an approximation. Now in class I had some ridiculous beats per minute, which was a result of two things. The first was an issue with sample rates, and the second was that I hadn't selected a complete measure. I had just selected a portion of the track. The sample rate issue is actually the bigger issue, but the selecting the right amount of material is important. So what you want to do is, after you've tapped along, try to get a sense for the meter of the piece. So when do you hear a really particularly strong downbeat? So a lot of songs will be in 4/4, not every song. But what you want to do is, after you have a sense for the tempo and have a sense for where the strongest downbeat is, there's sort of repeating pattern, you make a time selection of an entire measure of the piece. And what you can do then is go to Insert and then insert Measure from Time Selection. You see it says Detect Tempo. So what it does then is it makes this this new tempo marker, which basically says, okay, actually our tempo starting here is 94. You can see 0.78, so it's closer to 95 beats per minute, and it's in 4/4. So that's how you start to get a sense for your tempo. So let's see, if I were to play this back now, theoretically, our metronome should be in sync, at least for a period of time. So I'm going to turn on the metronome and see what happens. Awesome. Okay, so now you know the target tempo. Now you might have a piece that's they played with it. You might have a piece that's perfectly in time all the way throughout. There's no time signature changes, there's no tempo changes. All you have to do is do this once, and you've got your metronome and your grid set up for the entire piece. On the other hand, you may find that you have a piece that has a little more rubato, a little bit more changes in, a few more changes in either tempo or time signature. And what you have to do then is you can repeat this process in other locations throughout the piece, making a time selection, getting the new tempo, etc. And you can also, as needed, split these items. So normally when you do a split, you just type S and it splits wherever at the playhead is. You can also do Shift S to split at the time selection you've made, and then you have your bar of music that's isolated from the rest of the media track.